Good morning. I'll pay you for that afterwards. I want to thank you for this opportunity to very briefly say that I want to go on record as supportive of Unidos Now and any elected officials who will fight against any draconian legislation to deal with the immigrant community that may come out of the state or the national government. I'm an advocate for human rights, and I believe that this nation was founded on principles, egalitarian values that provide for compassion and civil dealings with the citizens and non-citizens that are part of this country. And I plan to continue doing that. And just simply wanted to say that I support Unidos Now and those who come together to protest with the constitutional provision to do that.
Reverend, it's always good to see you. And who is this young lady?
Hi, I'm Brianna Calderon, and I have a few points to say. I'm Stephanie Romine, and I also okay. First, I'd like to say that I'm very grateful for the privilege of being permitted to speak before all of you. I'd also like to thank Senator Nancy Dieter for coming to speak to my first period history class in 8th grade, which has inspired me and is one of the reasons why I'm so involved and here today. In turn, I hope to reciprocate and make an impression on you and everyone else as well. Although I am a member of the Youth Advisory Board for the City of Sarasota, the chair of the Student Division of Unidos Now, and have attended the Minnesota League of Cities Conference last year and leadership workshops with the Sarasota Chamber of Commerce, I have never attended a delegation meeting before, and quite honestly, I'm very nervous, because I understand how important this meeting is and how important is the issue I present. So important is this issue that I am actually missing my college classes to be here. I am thankful for having the ability to actually attend college because I am proudly an American citizen. Yet I still feel shame. I am ashamed because as I exercise my right to a higher education, my friends who are undocumented are not allowed to join me. I am ashamed that the DREAM Act does not have the support it deserves, and that students with incredible talent and skills that would greatly contribute to our society are rejected, for they are seen as criminals. Criminals whose only fault is that their families seek to improve their way of life, escape the violence and fear America's drug problem has caused in their pueblos, escape poverty and come to the land of opportunity. And even greater injustice is occurring as well. Students who are legal citizens of America, born and raised, who do not speak a word of Spanish, who have undocumented parents, are being denied in-state tuition. They are being punished for a decision that was not theirs to make, as their parents decided before they had even been born that America would bring a better way of life to their children. These children are American citizens but are treated as outsiders. You do not belong is the message they confront every day, and that tension follows them everywhere, follows them into their plans for college and into the workforce. Please consider the issues of my friends who, in my public education classes, have worked just as hard as I have and just as hard as your sons and grandsons. Please consider this as you return to Tallahassee, and please, I urge you to change these laws and give the undocumented, and especially the American-born Hispanics, their right to an education, instead of suspending it above their heads like a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holder.
Are you going to speak?
Your name is?
Stephanie Romine.
Okay, Stephanie Romine, you're recognized.
Well, I recognize the fact that you said that this nation is a nation of laws, but it is also a nation of just laws, and those laws are supposed to protect the people. And as leaders, great leaders, are supposed to lead the people to where we are supposed to go. And also, like, there have been many unjust laws throughout history, and people have protested them, like laws against people just because of the color of their skin, which is happening again and continues to happen. We just point the finger to a different group every time. And also, I would just like to say, because I know many of you guys are religious, and as Christians, Jesus Christ was not an American citizen. He is from the Middle East. If you see pictures of him, what people portray as what he would look like, you see light skin and blue eyes, but he's from the Middle East. He has skin darker than I have. And you might say, well, that's different, he's the Son of God, but we are all children of God, and we should not be treated any differently because we're not from here. And I do understand, yes, you do have to have regulation. You can't just let anyone in here just because they want to be, and you can say that they're criminals because they're not from here. But how can you be a criminal just trying to have a better life? Thank you.
Can I say something?
Senator Dieter.
Thank you. I'm very happy to see you both again. It's a nice surprise. I'm glad you sat through the whole meeting because, as intelligent girls that you probably are, you can see that these issues are very nuanced. They're not black and white issues. And everybody wants something a little different, so you have competing interests and you try to make everybody happy. I bristle every time I hear you say the word that we're treating these people like criminals. I think that I could probably speak for the whole group and for America at large when I say that Hispanic undocumented workers really have earned our respect as workers. And we would probably like to keep them, but we need to know who's in our country and who shouldn't be in our country. We probably need a work permit. I think we all agree that we can't get Americans to take their job. When they tried that in California and said, take my job for a day, thousands of Americans say, well, I'd take that job, but only 7 showed up. And we know that's true. So I have, like I said earlier, the state of Florida in particular is built with a deeply entrenched Hispanic culture, and it's one we're proud of, and I certainly don't treat these people like criminals, and don't know anybody else who does either. So it's just a more complex argument than what you're making or what you're hearing at whatever meetings you're attending, and I'd be glad to continue the conversation with you, but I don't think we're in a punitive mood when it comes to illegal immigrants. I think we're in a problem-solving mood because we know we need them, we need the workers, but how do you be able to account for who's within your borders, who should be here and who shouldn't be here?
What do you major in?
Actually, I'm a dual enrollment student, so I'm still in high school. I just go to college for my academics. So
Which high school do you go to?
I go to Booker High School, and I'm in the Visual Performing Arts program.
You speak very, very well. Get involved in politics. Trying to get Representative Pilon down.
We need more
Stay out of my
politics.
district.
May I actually respond to that? The whole criminalizing undocumented Hispanics. I mean, it's very different when you're on the other side of the issue. I mean, as Hispanics, I mean not so much because people stereotype and, oh, you have light eyes. Well, how can you possibly be Mexican, you know? And I mean, that really hurts and is something that we encounter almost every day. And as, you know, racial profiling is becoming more acceptable in other states, it's just going to continue, and it is very serious. And so the term criminalizing is, in fact, relevant and, you know, continues to happen. It's just, you know, from our perspective, it's much more serious than it seems.
Well, thanks for having the confidence to disagree with me. I had
Trust me, I've known her for a long time. It's not a good idea. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming down.